Ducati just did something bold. They removed Desmo, they removed the single-sided swing arm, and they rebuilt the Hypermotard from the ground up. Now, if you followed this bike for the past 2 decades, you'll understand how big that statement actually is. Because just over 20 years ago, Ducati revealed something that looked like it had no business existing. The original Hypermotard concept arrived in late 2005, right when Supermoto interest briefly exploded. It was styled by Pierre Terblanche, and it combined motocross proportions, road tires, an air-cooled V-twin, and that dramatic single-sided swing arm. On paper, it was nonsense. In reality, it worked. 2 years later, it became the Hypermotard 1100, and somehow this weird, tall, aggressive machine carved out its own category. It wasn't a sport bike, it wasn't a naked, it wasn't a dirt bike. It was something in between, a Ducati interpretation of controlled chaos. Fast forward to 2026, and Ducati has taken that idea into its 4th generation. And this is the most radical shakeup the formula has ever seen. Let's start with the headline. This is the lightest and most powerful Hypermotard yet. But the way Ducati got there is what makes this interesting. For years, Ducati resisted the temptation to turn the Hypermotard into a horsepower monster. They could have shoved in a V4 at some point. You know, those conversations must have happened behind closed doors. A 200 horsepower Hypermotard V4 would have broken the internet. But Ducati never went that route. Instead, they focused on minimizing weight and delivering usable performance. Now, in 2026, the Hypermotard V2 produces 120.4 horsepower. That's a noticeable increase over the previous 950's 114 horsepower. But what's even more significant is how it gets there. The old 937 cubic centimeter Testastretta engine is gone. In its place is Ducati's new 890 cubic centimeter V2. Smaller capacity, more power, lighter construction. This engine weighs just 54.4 kilograms, which is 6.42 kilograms lighter than the old Testastretta. That's not a tiny tweak, that's a meaningful weight reduction right at the heart of the bike. But here's the real shift. Ducati has abandoned the Desmodromic valve system for this engine. That's not a minor change, that's a philosophical one. For decades, Desmo defined Ducati engineering. Now, the Hypermotard uses conventional valve springs like almost every other 4-stroke motorcycle on the planet. And the interesting thing is, customers don't seem bothered. Why? Because the trade-off is longer service intervals and cheaper maintenance. Oil changes every 9,000 miles or 24 months. Valve clearance checks every 28,000 miles. That's a major step forward compared to older Desmo twins that required more frequent attention. This isn't Ducati losing its identity, it's Ducati evolving. Performance-wise, the 890 cubic centimeter V2 in the Hypermotard produces 120.4 horsepower at 10,750 RPM and 94 Newton-meters of torque at 8,250 RPM. Compare that to the old 950, which peaked at 9,000 RPM and delivered its torque lower down, and you immediately see the character shift. This engine is revier, more top-end focused, more aggressive as you climb the tachometer. Ducati has also fitted variable intake valve timing, and this is actually the most powerful version of the 890 V2 across the lineup. It edges out the Monster, Multistrada V2, and even the Panigale V2 and Street Fighter V2 by a small margin. So this isn't a detuned, playful twin, it's the sharpest version of this motor. And of course, this being Ducati in 2026, the electronics package is fully modern. You get Ducati's DQS 2.0 up and down quickshifter, a 6-axis inertial measurement unit enabling lean-sensitive cornering traction control and cornering anti-lock braking, wheelie control, engine braking control, and 4 riding modes: race, sport, road, and wet. Each mode changes the engine mapping and the intervention levels of the rider aids. So yes, this bike can behave, but it can also misbehave properly if you ask it to. The engine change is massive, but the chassis change might be even bigger. For 20 years, the Hypermotard wore a steel trellis frame. Now that's gone. The 2026 model adopts an aluminum monocoque chassis. The engine acts as a stressed member, hanging beneath a cast aluminum half frame that also doubles as the airbox. The swing arm attaches directly to the rear of the engine. There is still a nod to Ducati heritage and the trellis-style seat subframe, but structurally, this is a completely new philosophy. And then there's the other emotional bombshell. The single-sided swing arm is gone. replaced by a double-sided design similar in concept to the latest Panigale V4. For purists, that's going to hurt. The single-sider was part of the Hypermotard's visual drama, but technically, the new setup offers increased rigidity. Ducati claims the chassis construction is even more rigid than the similar architecture used on the Panigale V2 and Street Fighter V2, with improved torsional and lateral stiffness. Suspension depends on which version you choose. The base Hypermotard V2 gets fully adjustable Kayaba 46mm forks and a preload and rebound adjustable shock from the same brand. The SP version steps things up with Öhlins NIX 30-48mm forks and an Öhlins X46 shock, both fully adjustable. Both versions come with a Sachs steering damper. Wheels also differ. The base uses 17-inch cast alloys wrapped in Pirelli Diablo Rosso 4 tires. The SP gets lighter forged wheels, saving 1.56 kilograms and significantly reducing rotational inertia, 27% at the front and 21% at the rear. It also runs stickier Pirelli Diablo Rosso 4 Corsa rubber. Braking hardware follows a similar split. The standard model uses Brembo M4.32 monoblock calipers with a PR18/19 master cylinder. The SP gets lighter M50 monoblock calipers and a PR16/21 master cylinder. Both use 320mm front discs and a 245mm rear disc. And thanks to the 6-axis inertial measurement unit, you get cornering anti-lock braking with 4 selectable levels of intervention. Weight: the base model weighs 180 kilograms dry. The SP weighs 177 kilograms dry. For a twin-cylinder Ducati with over 120 horsepower and full electronics, that's seriously light. Seat height sits at 880 millimeters. There's a low seat option at 865 millimeters, and with a suspension lowering kit, you can bring it down to 850 millimeters. Fuel tank capacity is 12.5 liters. Claimed fuel economy is 52.3 miles per gallon. On paper, that's a theoretical range of 143 miles. In reality, if you ride it enthusiastically, you'll likely be refueling around the 100-mile mark. Service intervals are modern. Oil every 9,000 miles, valve checks every 28,000 miles. Up front, there's a new 5-inch TFT display with 3 layouts: Road, Road Pro, and Track. Bluetooth connectivity is standard. Navigation is optional. There's even Ducati's brake light EVO system that flashes under heavy braking above 34 miles per hour and can activate hazard lights in emergency situations. After 20 years in production, the Hypermotard has almost no direct competitors left. Single-cylinder machines like the KTM 690 SMCR, GasGas SM700, and Husqvarna 701 Supermoto exist, but they don't offer the twin-cylinder power or presence of the Ducati. Multi-cylinder rivals like MV Agusta's Rivale and Aprilia's Dorsoduro have been discontinued. So what's left? Aggressive naked bikes like the KTM 990 Duke R, Triumph Street Triple 765, and Yamaha MT-09 SP. They may match or exceed it in some performance metrics, but they don't occupy the same emotional space. The Hypermotard V2 still stands almost alone, and Ducati could have left it untouched. They could have let the previous generation continue unchallenged. But instead, they invested in a completely new machine. That says something. It says Ducati believes in this bike. It says the Hypermotard is not just a niche toy, it's part of the brand's identity. The 2026 Hypermotard V2 is lighter, it's more powerful, it's more refined, it's cheaper to maintain. Yes, tradition took a hit. No Desmo, no trellis mainframe, no single-sided swing arm, but it remains instantly recognizable. It still carries that Supermoto stance. It still promises that mischievous front-wheel light attitude. Ducati didn't kill the Hypermotard. They rebuilt it to survive another 20 years. And judging by everything we've seen, it looks ready to do exactly that.